Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long Boys Blues, 1975. A YouTuber is on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug him. Long Boys Blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975, and welcome to my SEGA Saturn collection video volume 2. Number 2? I don't know, it's got a 2 in the title. I should probably think of the titles before I actually start vlogging, but meh, what are you going to do? Now, if you saw my last video, I did a little bit of update. That's what I intend to do. Don't expect too many of these videos because, you know, as I always say, we're not made of money, and I don't just buy Saturn games for the sake of waving them around in front of a camera. It seems kind of, I've got 6 games here I want to talk about, and yeah, it seems kind of a, you know, that's sort of the right number. I'm not going to do a, you know, these videos on an individual game basis or a couple of games basis. There's no point. But you know, it's safe to say, and I covered this in the last video, and I've covered this in my gameplay, that I've got a real buzz, a real excitement for collecting for the SEGA Saturn. You know, it was always my brother's system as a kid, so I have, you know, nostalgia for it. But now that I've finally got mine working again, I've got, honestly, this will be 70% new material. I'm really enjoying collecting for it, and I gotta say, it's a lot easier. I mean, we see PlayStation games turn up everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Original PlayStation games, that is, I should say. And yeah, I mean, so, like, you see rare ones as well, you see common ones, but I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I wouldn't see that many Saturn games in the wild unless I went to specific, you know, game stores and stuff like that. So genuinely, really quite surprised that, you know, they're out there in the wild. 2 of these I got in the wild, so that's, yeah, I'm really liking that. I guess I didn't know what or how easy it would be to collect for, because, well, I've never really been exposed to it or, you know, open and look for it until I got mine fixed again. Anyway, now if you watch my gameplay videos, if you watch my gameplay videos, there are, you know, very realistic chances that you will have seen some of these. So this isn't like, you know, a spoiler, you know, free list of games here. You will, you know, they've been spoiled is what I'm trying to say. But not everyone watches my gameplay videos. They're my least popular videos, but I like making them. So some people just like these sort of, you know, collection update videos. So I'm going to get into it, as I always say. I may have paid stupid money by what, you know, is the actual value of the game for some of these, but I was happy at the time, so if I'm happy, then it's a good price. Now, first of all, I want to talk about this one. I didn't think I even knew of it back then. I don't know. That would be Last Bronx. And it comes in the real cases. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. What determined whether it came in one of these cases or not? Well, I won't show you the next one, which is in one of the shit cases. I mean, well, they didn't get as badly boned as us in North America, did they? They got like they were still fragile. The Sega, what we had our Sega CD games in, or Mega CD games in, I guess. But yeah, I didn't know anything about it. It's motion captured as far as I can tell. This and the only other game at the time was Soul Blade, Soul Edge, Soul Calibur, one of those ones. You know, the equivalent game on the PlayStation was motion captured as well, and it's a weapon-based game, you know. So I have to say it runs in the high resolution mode, and by all means, I'm not an expert on Saturn, so correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I could tell, it does have light sourcing, because you either had light sourcing or high resolution. They didn't really do, you know, 2 at the same time. But this is a well late entry into the Sega Saturn's, you know, library. So that might be why, you know what, they probably ironed all the kinks out at that point of a system that was notoriously difficult to develop for, because they slapped an extra processor, because they saw the Sony PlayStation specs and shat their pants. But this looks stunning, absolutely stunning. I was really impressed at how nice it looks. And if you didn't see my gameplay video of it, but you want to know what, you know, because well, you don't watch gameplay videos, but you want to see how it looks and what I mean by how it looks really fantastic. Obviously it's a port of an arcade machine. Look at it. It's, yeah, I was really impressed. I don't know what I paid for this, but it was certainly no more than a tenner, and that included like 2 days shipping or something. So I mean, obviously it was within the UK, but yeah, I was like, I mean, I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. And again, you know, maybe that's a bad price, but I'm certainly happy to pay a tenner on it. And I've been playing loads of it since that video, and I'm actually moderately good at it now. Because even though it's weapon-based, it's still the same control system as such as Virtua Fighter, which I'm not Great Act, or Keen Act, that control system, not the game. Now, the next one, I mean, you would have seen this on Facebook, plus it's got this really nice slipcase that it came delivered in, so I must even get some more of these for when I do get like pristine Saturn games. But I saw this in the wild, in the high street, in Pink Planet. It's funny, but once I got my Saturn working again, all of a sudden in my local Pink Planet, I started seeing Saturn games. They never used to have them. Ironically being that's where I bought my Saturn in the first place, was in a Pink Planet. But yeah, I got loads of nostalgia for this, but I didn't have it on the Saturn. So I didn't have it, well, no, didn't have the Saturn version, or played the Saturn version back in the day. My brother never had it. I had it on the PlayStation. The story behind it though, which is kind of annoying, is I had WWF the arcade game. Remember the epic digitized one? And I lent it, so you know when you do swapsies but not permanent swapsies, I lent it to someone for this game, and then he moved away and never gave it back, and I fucking hate it when people do that. It gets on my fucking tits. Oh, sorry. But yeah, and it was loaded by Gremlin graphics. Yeah, I think I paid, I don't know, £9 something. I mean, is it an in-demand game? I sincerely doubt it, but just the nostalgia when I was playing it came flooding back. The Pop will Eat Itself soundtrack. It's essentially Gauntlet. Is it pre-rendered graphic? You know, like Donkey Kong Country style of graphics, even though it's certainly not that same sort of game. It's super linear. You know, it's not going to win any awards. You know, change the world. I'm pretty sure the cover art is done by an then 2000 AD artist, which is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's pretty much Gauntlet, weapon based. You know, run around, get keys and stuff like that. Different coloured keys, open different parts of the level. You know, I have a massive amount of nostalgia for it. It's not an amazing game. It's not a terrible game, but yeah, I think the reason I have a slight sort of downer on it is and it's not really its fault. It's that dick who never gave me my copy of WWF back, which is a better game. I must see if I can get that on Saturn. I'm pretty sure that might go for, you know, decent money. But if that's true, I'll get it on the PlayStation, because that's the version I had. But yeah, really, you know, pleased to get this in the wild. And yeah, the slipcase, look at it. It's just a plastic protective sleeve, but or a box, but it's really nice. And I like that because, well, yeah, I mean, well, obviously, you know, it's made for the game, but obviously because as well, that's, can I say, obviously twice that close together. The cases, the cardboard cases, are so easy to bang up and ding and shit like that. So yeah, I might just have a look on Amazon or something and see how many you can buy, because I'm sure they come in packs or anything like that. In fact, if anyone knows, you know, of a good place to buy them, you know, like in bundles and shit, let me know by all means in the comments. Right, so yeah, next game, again, massive, I've done a gameplay of it, massive amount of nostalgia for this, but I had the PlayStation version. Pretty sure the PlayStation version was a launch game. This came a couple of years later, and it's a bad port of the PlayStation. There's no denying that version is super superior. Better, you know, frame rate, shinier graphics, not as bad pop-up and you know, distance drawing, clipping and all that shit. So I'm pretty sure you've worked out it's a 3D game at that point. And yeah, it's Destruction Derby. This was an online purchase. I think this was a £5, but yeah, I had it on the PlayStation, loved it. Only ever played the bowl mode. No, didn't really like the extra racing, but for some reason, maybe I've forgotten it, or maybe my mind's embellished stuff over years. I can't seem to access on it. Do I have to put a code in to unlock everything, or do I have to go through the game and unlock stuff to unlock the bowl mode? By all means, let me know down below. Done a gameplay, was a bit critical of it, played it again since. It's a bit hard on your eyes because it just doesn't run like the PlayStation version, but you know, once I've been playing it a few more times and I kind of got used to it, or acclimatized to it, I should say. Is that the right word for talking about a video game? I can kind of, you know, look for its faults, and I'm having so much fun. I love the way, which was kind of advanced back then, your car gets dinged up and takes damage, you know, and sometimes you generally get, you're first and you generally limp across the line because your car is so banged up. So yeah, it's by no means a looker like the PlayStation version. Maybe that's why it was only £5. Don't know what it goes on the PlayStation, pretty sure it's probably cheap on there as well, but it's just, some games are so good and so much fun to play that even a bad port of it is still a good game overall. Right, 3 left. This one needs no introduction. I did a gameplay of it 2 days ago. This is the version I played back in the day. I don't know if it came out on this system before the PlayStation. It's been on everything, you know, since. And it's, yeah, this was the version I played. We used to borrow my brother's Saturn when he would let us. and take it around my mate's house, and then we just play 4 of us on this, and that would be Worms. You'd have to be living under a big fucking shitty rock to not know what Worms is. You know, it's that artillery style sort of strategy war game, but with a big dose of humour. You know, like, well, your Worms. You got insane weapons, but you've also got weapons that are lifted from other franchises. You got your teleport that clearly is ripped off Star Wars with the noise. You got Dragon Punch, your Dragon Ball Z move. You got your artillery base, bazookas and grenades, but you've got to work out the strength, take into the wind and stuff like that. Massive number of levels, just absolutely brilliant. I forgot how shit I was at it. Only playing the computer, I've only played it a few times for the first time the other day in years, but the nostalgia just came flooding back. It's one of those games, you have nostalgia for it, but it's best played against other people, because you rename your Worm characters, take the piss out of each other with your renaming. And yeah, it's just, so much fun. I'm just loving it. I just need to get some mates over so we can play like big fat, multiplayer with actual people and not the computer. That's not to say the computer makes it a boring game or anything like that. The computer's pretty sharp. It's just, it's one of those games that's best, it was created to be played with with human opponents. But I mean, graphically compared to any other version, it's Worms. You could probably run it on a fucking calculator. But absolutely loving it. And again, I can hardly remember what I paid, but it was definitely well under a tenner. This is what I mean. Unless you're going for like a full collection, and the more sort of rare games, because they weren't, well, I guess they weren't popular back in the day, which drives the prices up. It's a very, very, very affordable system to collect for, and like I said, it's not driving my collecting at the moment, but it's definitely the centre of it, what I'm focusing on, because it's so much fun to collect for, and the fact that it's so cheap to collect for, especially the next one, is mind blowing. Now. I said this system, this collecting for this system is based on nostalgia of the games I played, of its period back in the day, either on my brother's actual Saturn, or on my PlayStation, because it was cross-platform, or some of them were. But that's not to say that every now and then, I think I saw this on Dave Webster's channel, because this gives it away. Drifting games were really, and this definitely gives it away, really, really popular. In Japan, way before the whole drifting craze. Well, it was created there. Drifting craze took off, over here. I think in the West, our first sort of experience of drifting, it was basically the first Fast and the Furious movie, wasn't it? Oh no, the Fast and Furious movies. Never mind. Or maybe the second one. I don't know. You get what I mean. But yeah, so this is an import from Japan. God bless these little little normal CD cases. This was £5, including shipping. Took 3 weeks, but I still think that's cheap. And I don't know if I can pronounce this. King the Spirits 2. I'm sorry if I balls that up. When I saw it, how cheap it was, my brain just went, it might be terrible. If it's terrible, don't tell me. Let me find out myself. I mean, you can find out when you see me do a gameplay of it. But yeah, I thought I have to give it a go. I mean, there's no denying that Sega Saturn, Sega Rally on the Sega Saturn is the best driving game on it. Period. At least my taste of it is. Even though I've never played this and other ones of this ilk. But then that would suggest it's a sequel as well, wouldn't it too? Anyway, there's a game, sorry. Like I said, I do love the Japanese box art. I love this bit as well. But yeah, I know nothing about it, and I just thought, quick stills of it when I was looking it up for buying it. Again, I bought it off Amazon, I didn't go to any specific site, import site or anything. That's what's funny, Amazon's really good for buying Saturn games, Japanese ones and everything. But I thought, I'll have a pop at that for a £5, come on. So yeah, if it's shit, don't tell me. But I'm really, really, really looking forward to buying it. And again, are they really, really cheap? Because obviously the Saturn was far more popular in Japan than it was, in the West. Right, now the final game I got is a game that I had back in the day and have now, but I have the PlayStation version. But it's one of those games, like Alien Trilogy, there you go, I've probably given it away now, like Alien Trilogy, that supposedly, don't know, this is just what I've heard, the Saturn version is better than the PlayStation version. Now that would be, it's not an amazing nick, it's, oh fucking hell, I didn't notice that when I bought it. That's not actually the store's fault. They did stick a sticker on it that took a ickle bit of the cover paint off, which pissed me off because I got it in Pink Planet in the High Street, yeah. You would think they would know better than that, Pink Planet, because they have old games, so you think they would know not to stick that sort of sticker. It was even in a case, so why didn't they just stick a piece of card in front of it? It was $9.99. Again, expensive, don't know. Happy to buy it. Technically own it, well no, do own it on the PlayStation, but just really, and it's a good game anyway. Really want to experience the Saturn version, and that would be Hard Trilogy. Love the game anyway. Had it when it first came out. I bought it from Virgin with is it the Predator light gun that had a dual lead, so you could actually play it with a Saturn or play it with a PlayStation, which meant the only being who used to take it into my brother's room and use it on his Saturn with his Virtual Cop, what was it, Stunner? I don't know, Stinger, and then you dual wield and fire at the same time, even though you're basically aiming with the right hand and just firing continuously with the left hand and hitting shit all. But yeah, 3 games. It's got you know I would argue the third person walk around Nakatomi Plaza, which is by no means a bad game, but the weakest game. The second one is on par with Virtua Cop, not as good graphics, shooting game. Obviously, don't need the gun for this game. I still haven't found out if I need the gun or can't play it on a pad on my copy of Virtua Cop 2, which still hasn't come out of the box. The actual Saturn box, not its box. But yeah, I thought I'll have that. I'll definitely have that for a tenner. It's not knackered as such. It's just a bit, well, I would say well worn. That's gonna have to come off. By the way, people, how do you get stickers like that off without, or am I basically gonna have to give it up? Because I can't use white spirit or nail polish remover on it because it's obviously it's not laminated or whatever. It's not waterproof basically. God, Sega, really? Why did you do this? And then I did notice that, but yeah, micro markets again. People, even back then, why did you stick a fucking paper sticker on a paper case? But it's complete. The disc, the manual's lovely. Oh, manuals, I miss you. The disc is unbelievably spanker-rooney fresh. Look at that. All these games, I didn't show you, did I? All these games are absolutely immaculate disc, and all of them have the manuals as well. That's weird. Excuse me. I was going to say Winnie Pops, it's not, it's a cough. Yeah, I'm really not sure why I don't know, maybe they weren't popular so no one fucking played them. That's why the manuals are all in discs, they're all in such good nick and they're all complete. But yeah, that's my Saturn update video number 2. And as I said, I do plan on doing more of these. Honestly don't know when the next one is. I don't have any inbound Saturn games at the moment, and I might need to give my wallet a little bit of a break from the hammering it's been taken on. Well, I don't really been taking a hammering, has it, on the Saturn, because they're cheap. I mean, I don't know, of all the games I've thought about buying so far, I've not come across an expensive one, so I don't know, maybe that's my experience of not knowing, you know, or the games that are considered super rare, I don't even know what they are, so that's why, you know, I'm having fun dipping into the pool, if you will. But yeah, there you go. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.